This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
It's the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast.
We're old school, right? We wash our own dirty laundry.
The name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back.
I refuse to be judged by a grown man wearing a hockey jersey.
Game on!
Game on!
We are back with another episode of the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast, episode number 71. Wade Hampton, DocNoyes. Paul, I think he said he was either playing for San Jose this evening or skating with the minor league team. I'm hoping he was playing for the Sharks because as of the recording, the Sharks are down 7-1. I'm sorry.
If they put Paul in the lineup tonight, I don't know how well he's skating anymore.
And actually, I'm sorry, an update. It's 8-1. So
they must have let him play tonight.
Or put him in net because holy hell. But no, Paul off doing some other things. He had some stuff going on. Justin running around. We're going to be recording actually another show on Sunday just with some scheduling. We're going to have some extra shows popping up over the next month, really, with holidays and some extra availability for people. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A couple housekeeping things. Of course, the drink every week. And this one tonight, again, just a straight. This is called Very Old Barton. I believe it's available pretty much everywhere. It's like $27 a bottle. It's super cheap, but it's a really good mixing bourbon or drinking it straight. So again, cheers to everybody. And with the holidays, you should definitely have some more of those things on tap when you get tired of your family. And yes, the man, the myth, the legend, Wade Hampton with his Dr. Pepper.
I'm consistent.
Yes, that you are. We never have to ask what flavor or what thing you're drinking. And I think I asked this once before, but I forget now. Do you like the cherry or the cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper?
I don't. I just like the original. It's just my thing. It's my favorite soda. It has been since I was a kid. And I don't know. Probably shouldn't have it because I'm,
Yeah.
But I enjoy it and it's fun. So there it is. But
the other one, if you haven't tried it, and I know it's sometimes hard to find, is Dr. Pepper cream soda. Really good. And we cannot thank our friend Mitch enough for the Drink Your Face Off line of barware and clothing. Soon, I want him to do. I know he's doing some sweatshirts and stuff. I want him to do some like sweatpants and put the logo across the butt. I think that would be really, really good. Some of these things, but again, if you want to pick any of this stuff up, reach out to Mitch. There's still time to get this stuff for Christmas. I know he would be very excited to help you out with that.
Drink Your Face Off across the front could get a little interesting. So it's definitely.
Yeah, we can. We can make it fun in all kinds of ways. We're going to come up with all kinds of new ways for Mitch to design clothing, maybe some inappropriate.
Yeah, no kidding.
So around, I guess really the biggest couple things to touch on, and one other thing I want to keep an eye on, because I've even seen people asking, where the hell do you get the jerseys? Is that yesterday they announced the rosters for the Four Nations face-off.
Yeah.
But collectors online are like, where's even the authentic jerseys? Where are we going to buy them? It's a couple weeks to Christmas and nobody's posted where to buy these. I haven't seen even who's going to be doing the game-worn ones, so that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. Also, World Junior rosters have been announced for a bunch of the countries. One of the junior players here, can't think of what country he is from, but he actually is on that team.
Oh,
so I'm going to figure out where that team sells theirs because I like to pick one up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Auctions. One ends, if you're listening to this, it ends tomorrow night. The Pittsburgh Penguins jersey for warmth, game-worn jerseys. They were worn on November the 19th against Tampa Bay. They close tomorrow night. And, of course, the big one, if you can't take a guess, the current one, Sidney Crosby, is $8,575 currently. With
it's interesting to see where that'll end up.
With just over a day to go. Owen Pickering is over 1,100. Some of the prices aren't really bad. 500 400, 475, 425. Malkin's is 26.25 right now.
You were a big winner this last week with the close of the Buffalo jerseys, which was surprising. They put so many out at once, but go
Yes.
ahead.
Yeah, they did both the, and we talked about it in the last show. They did both the a bunch of the um, when they traveled
Global
over to Europe.
series?
Yes, thank you. It's been a long day. The Global Series ones where they wore them in 2 games. They played, what was it? Not Columbus. They played New Jersey for one, and played the Red Bull team for the other one, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And when they had the jerseys listed, some were worn for both, some were worn for one or the other. And then the one I got, one of the James Reimers, was issued. There was 3 of his available that were all issued, and I'm like, okay, $250 for an issued Fanatics goalie jersey. I thought that was a pretty good deal with a patch on there.
Yeah.
Prices I thought were pretty down, and then also they had the a couple of
Goatheads.
sets as well up for sale from the previous year. So those were the Adidas ones, and even though I didn't think were a crazy amount of money, in the Buffalo group, some people were back and forth on them or what they were. So I thought they were down, but again, I don't normally buy Buffalo stuff, so if any of the Buffalo collectors kind of know where the price was. But some people, at least for the Facebook group, were happy with where they closed and that. But you're right, they dropped 3 sets closed at the same time.
Yeah.
You had the Buffalo head, or the goat head, as some people call it, of course. The Global Series, and then I believe it was the whites also.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a lot of jerseys to drop at once.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's kind of no different than what happened with those Edmonton jerseys last week when, a bunch of those went a couple different places. Makes it hard. I haven't looked at the Edmonton side to see if they might still have a couple of those available, which is interesting. It's just when you saturate the market, it makes it hard for collectors to gobble everything up, especially with the way prices are these days. It's not like the good old days when you could get, $300 jerseys, $400 jerseys pretty regularly. So, interesting to see, how the season goes with that. To go back to the 4 nations thing, in the past, it seems like those jerseys end up usually on NHL auctions, if I'm not mistaken. That's what we've seen in the past. I think the last time they did one of these, most of those were Fanatics tagged and end up on Fanatics through NHL auctions. So we'll see who gets the jerseys, who makes them, and where they end up.
yeah, so we'll those will be. I mean, with the rosters, there'll be a lot all hot players. They're not.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, especially the U.S. and Canadian ones are all are crazy stacked. I mean, the other two. I mean, that's gonna be a lot of fun hockey. I'm actually really excited about it. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping I haven't looked to see where to watch them online or on whatever channel. I'm hoping they're easy to watch, because if you make it difficult, the fans outside of the area are really going to be pissed about it. We'll get to a couple other auctions here too, but I also want to mention My Gray sale goes through Thursday, December 22nd, or not Thursday. That is a Sunday, December 22nd, excuse me. So their holiday sale, you can get all the details at mygray.com for that. Heritage Auctions has a few things wrapping up here shortly, so make sure you check those out. A couple days to go on a few. If anybody wants it cheap, again, surprisingly cheap, Jonathan Taves 14-15 Hawks practice jersey, 2 days to go. It's only $260.
Cheap way to get into a Taves jersey.
For sure. 90-91 Gretzky is currently up to 38,000, and the Mario Lemieux quarterfinal is up to 15,000. I'm sorry, the reserve is 15,000. I does not say
Hasn't made it yet.
What it not there yet. Yes, but ones to keep an eye on is always.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime, it's always funny when hockey stuff ends up in some of those, not, I don't want to say odd auction houses, but auction houses that don't specialize in hockey stuff. Um, I know that right now there's a gray flannel auction going on too, with some interesting stuff in it. So always good just to keep an eye on it. And even if you don't collect, for me, it's one of those things that obviously I don't collect very far outside of what I collect, but it's always good to continue to do your homework and learn about what's going on in the hobby, because you never want to have blinders on to other teams' value, because it helps you understand where your team's value is, in my opinion.
Exactly. And if you're, and I've seen a lot with I think with gray flannel and actually with all the auction houses, if things pop up and people are unsure or things don't look right,
Yeah,
they'll put them in the groups and say, "Hey, this seems off to me," or "What do you guys think of this?" And it that helps the hobby. It if
absolutely.
Don't ever be afraid to link a auction in one of the groups and say, "Hey, this seems off," or just something. Somebody tell me about this jersey and why this was done or that was done, because somebody in the hobby has that knowledge on the repairs or on how something was sewn or whatever it is. So it helps. So I mean, because you could also get into the problem of, okay, you see one of these auctions and you bid and win, and then you get it and there could be problems, and you didn't research that, or you didn't, excuse me, check into things, and possibly be out a whole lot of money.
Yeah, yeah,
But I've seen that with, I think it may have been both classic and gray flannel. There's been some posts of this doesn't look right, or um, this is off. Even a whole nother one, I think it was in the Nashville group the last few days, is the first set one first year Nashville jersey, and the A on the jersey is a different color than what it was the rest of the season. And the person said, I bought this. I think said they bought it from the team. If I messed it up, I apologize. It's a few days ago that I read it. But said this, the A is different, this, that. What do you guys think? Or would it been whatever? A couple of people stepped in. Oh yeah, I've got one with the A from the beginning of the season of a different player. It's the same color that they switched at this time. Started in preseason with them. In some cases, I think the names on the back of some of them were still velcroed on because the other jerseys hadn't come in yet. So things like
yeah.
that. But those are things again that we talk about, that now that it's been posted in a Facebook group, as long as Facebook exists and we can search for those things, that's out there.
Yeah.
If all the people that currently have that knowledge go away, you can
Yeah.
search for those things and go, oh, okay, that first from preseason there to through their first set, they wore A's that didn't match what they've worn all the way going forward.
And that's, I mean, we talk about it all the time, and we always say, a lot of the old guys, and we'll talk, Milt, do your homework, and some of the other veteran guys in the hobby, and there are some names that have gotten out or aren't as active anymore, who I've been fortunate enough to get to know over the years, or talk to, or pick brains on. And again, like we say it all the time, it's why you go to shows. It's why you hit expos. It's why, I mean, it's never a bad thing to ask people questions. The one thing I discovered a long time ago in this hobby, in a couple different genres of it, are you'd be amazed at how many people want to share knowledge when you actually ask them. And that's something I think is forgotten sometimes. And maybe some of the younger people forget the fact that it's not that hard to ask. And you'd be surprised at how many people actually would love to share what they've learned or known over 25, 30, 40 years in the hobby.
And if you ask the question of somebody and they get pissed about you asking or blow you off or get,
shame on them.
yeah, then you're right. And ask others, because there may
Yeah.
be somebody that's not as active on social media or kind of steps back a bit, but
Yeah.
somebody else may know them and can feed them that question and get you the answer. Because if people don't want to help you get more knowledge in the hobby, then those aren't the people you want to deal with
Oh,
in any way.
I mean, I remember having a conversation with a guy who is not really a hobbyist anymore, who was telling me stories about how the Blues were selling gamers, you know, basically like a yard sale kind of thing in the early 80s, and him going there and acquiring a couple jerseys that he then was selling later. I mean, but here, if I didn't ask the question, I would have never heard the story. Right. Same thing with, just ask people questions and the more you can learn, the more that you can attain knowledge, the better your collection is going to be and the better you're going to be in the hobby for both yourself and for whatever you collect.
Exactly. But don't ever be afraid to think you're asking a stupid question.
Yeah, no.
Especially if you're about to spend money on something, because if you don't, you're putting the money you have at risk, and you may not.
You always want to protect you first.
Yeah, and you may not be able to get a refund, or you may be stuck with a dud jersey or I would say necessarily a fake jersey, but jersey that has issues that you're not going to get your money back out of.
Absolutely.
So don't ever not feel like you can ask questions or feel somebody might think you're stupid. And if those, like I said, if those people step out there, other ones are going to correct that, and we're going to help you out. So
yeah, absolutely.
Now to touch on that closed just yesterday. The closed very early yesterday, if I remember correct. Classic Auctions.
Yeah.
I know I saw some of the posts online. People were happy with some of what they got. Some people said they missed out. I bid on one of the Blues goalies. Didn't bid very high. I was off playing hockey, so it's like, you know what? If I get it, great. If I don't, I wasn't upset that I didn't end up with anything. It is what it is. The high end ones on the hockey side, Messier's 95-96 500th gold jersey sold for $59,135.
Yeah.
Right behind it, just by a few, 4,000. Bobby Orr's 73-74 captain's jersey from Boston, 55,152. Phil Esposito's Stanley Cup ring, 39,203. This one, I don't know if I am shocked on it or just in what of some of the other stuff in the auction, what these sold for is Belfour's 98-99 goalie mask.
Yeah.
$34,621.
Yeah.
And
Tim Thomas for 22.
Yeah, but right in between that at 24 grand, Phil Esposito 75-76 Boston game worn jersey. To me, I think that, and again, it's what bidders you have at the time and the interest in things. I would expect that to be higher than a Belfour mask. Yeah. I don't know that I could ever expect a Belfour mask to be 34 grand.
I mean, I guess I don't know the market on Mario jerseys, but under 20 grand for a Mario jersey.
Right. I was just scrolling down on that.
Incredible to me. It's
Yeah.
like, holy cow. Like, that seems like a steal. I mean, but.
Right. And these Tim Thomas ones that are in the 16,000, 15,000, his pad set from the Stanley Cup final. Okay. I could understand that being a little bit more because of the Cup finals, 14,000.
Yeah. Somebody was really into that Tim Thomas stuff because it hit pretty hard. So.
Yeah. But I mean, the prices on this stuff seem pretty far out there on some of those things. Definitely some surprises. And if any of you guys are mask collectors or into that more, shoot us a message. I'm kind of curious what you think on some of those, some of that pricing, and if it was out of line or anything stupid with that, or if it's just a couple. Again, with an auction, it just takes two people to have interest in it to make things go for crazy money.
Yeah, for sure. No, there was some good stuff in there, and it was fun auction. I did not win anything. I will make that public here today. No, I really wasn't. There was one or two things Blues related I was interested in, but it just wasn't a good time for me, and there wasn't anything there that I was dying for. So didn't win. Not the end of the world.
And if you go down to the lower end of stuff, there's, I mean, some things didn't get bids at all, or some went super cheap. So just kind of interesting to look to see what was on the low end side of stuff. But Classic's always one of the big popular ones that everybody follows and bids on stuff and gets very excited when things close. And Good. Congratulations to all the winners, and hopefully you enjoy your stuff soon when you get it.
Absolutely.
Trying to think of anything else that I've seen pop up or go on. I did the other day, and it was Black. I think it started Black Friday or maybe a little bit before, but Vegas dumped a bunch of stuff on their site.
Really?
If you've seen it in the Vegas Game Worn group, they've been the Vegas Authentics has been active on Facebook now and put some stuff out there. And I saw them tease it the night before, and then I kind of looked the next day when it opened, and they put a lot of different stuff in some different price ranges. I should have had the page up. Let me get it up right now. They did even have, and I debated about getting one, and by the time I decided they were already gone, but they had the some Winter Classic issued ones.
Really?
The ones that look like a double middle finger. That
Yeah.
logo.
Yeah.
But they were $300.
That's a good. I mean, it's a heck of a deal.
Let me see what they have out here now, price wise. They have some preseason issued, or just game issued preseasons for 300. These are guys, and again, I don't know the Vegas roster well enough to say who's good and who's not, but they're 300. They've got home and aways, got a lot of them at 3.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, getting just
Reasonable price
a
stuff.
Vegas jersey for the look, and you don't care who's on it. I mean, they're sharp. They are really nice.
$100 isn't bad. It's not bad, especially considering the way their pricing normally is. So
right. Then you get into the Nevada Day, the specialty practice jerseys that they do, and those Nevada Day jerseys are sharp. They put the state logo or something on those. Those are also $300 right now. Of course, those are all issued because they're the 24-25 ones. Let's see. Oh, I see one out here. I may have to take another look. I missed the first time.
I love it. Oh, Doc shopping.
Yep. Some other ones in the $500 range. I'm almost surprised they didn't do, with the amount of jerseys out here, that they didn't do a any kind of grab bag.
Yeah.
You've got some other Nevada.
They seem to like that. So maybe, who knows? They may pull them and end up doing that with them in the future. But
yeah, the military warm up. This is interesting. Oh, but they're blank ones. They have Fanatics military warm up blanks out here for 500, which seems a little high because they're blank. They're not lettered up at all.
Yeah.
But and I do have and I'm going to screw up the name, Ronjberg, Ronjberg. How, again, Swedish name, I believe. So excuse me, Vegas fans. I'm bad with this, but they still have a handful of the game issued Winter Classic jerseys out here at $750. Morelli, they got a handful. But they're all 750. So if you like that style, I said they are like the double middle finger. The only problem I have with them though too is they posted them, but they did not put pictures of the fronts of those. The other ones they do, and those they don't. So some of these are game worn too. So you don't know if there's wear to the front or not, which is a little bothersome. And then then they start going up from there. So they did dump a bunch more out there if people had not seen them. But again, some of them still a little high price wise, but it is what it is. Some of the other go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just going to add, I stopped at the Blues team store today. I was down that way, and I wanted to get my hands on one of the Winter Classic jerseys and just kind of see how I felt about it in person. Because I know we did a lot of talking about it at length last show. So in person, I really love the numbers and the name. They look great. And the front, it's a good looking jersey. It actually grew on me a little bit seeing it in person. The color seemed a little darker as far as the cream seemed to me maybe a little different than the cream we've seen in the past. So I liked that. I'll be interested to see the actual gamers. The other thing I wanted to throw out there from my visit was They did have the pro, jersey, the blue pro jersey in stock. So I got to put my hands on those, and the quality of them is fantastic. Comparatively speaking to, to having touched obviously the Adidas previously, the Reebok before that, the CCM, the weight of them, they actually seem pretty heavy. So I don't know if they're going to be heavier once I get, if maybe that's the difference in the coding, because the coding did fall in line. They probably thought I was crazy because I flipped through probably 10 of them just to make sure all the codes were the same, and they were all the 080A. But they were very heavy and thick. Material seemed really, really pretty. Seemed like it had a lot of porousness to it in the sense that it could snag and tear. Be interesting to see what they look like, when the gamers come available. But I did want to just kind of throw that out there. We have continued to get more and more coding from people, and
because we talked the goalie codes at the last one, didn't we? Or was that?
Yeah. So I think we're doing good there. Somebody did send me one of the Blackhawks ones. And that
was the code for the Blackhawks, the Pro Authentic Winter Classic one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it falls in line as well. So I mean, obviously, I'm sticking with our guns on this one, but I just wanted to throw that out there that I did go handle and look at the Winter Classic for the Blues, and it got a little bit of a thumbs up. The one thing I did think was funny was it doesn't really have anything to do with what we do, but the hat wall is really funny because they had 10. If they had 5, they had 15 hats that just said St. Louis across the front. Right, in the different colors, which I guess they had made that tweet a couple weeks ago, like joking about that. And I'll be damned if they didn't have 15 hats that just in Blues colors say St. Louis. So I guess that really is something they're running with.
Yeah,
little different, but the colors look great. It was, it was good. I just wanted to kind of throw out my take from a visit.
No, and one quick question too on the Winter Classic ones there. Did they had the Pro Authentic ones?
Yeah, no, they did not have the Pro. They did not have any pros. The only Pro, as far as I know and what I've been told, the only Pro that I've heard any team has in their store is their home jersey, is the dark colored one.
And I was curious if they were going to get the Winter Classic ones because
the
Blackhawks
ones have leaked. Yeah, and that's because we've gotten a tag off one of those, but they did not have any of them in our team store. And again, I did flip through there. They had player ones, which, like I said, the names and numbers look great. I really do love the numbers. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's just they're pretty fabulous.
Is it felt numbers again, or is it?
It is. It is. They're felt. Yeah. So and that'll be again, and they had the shoulder patch on them, look great. And I am going to throw that out to anybody who is a collector is don't get used to the felt, because in past, once they got done with the Winter Classic, the felt went away and they went to the natural numbers, the normal tackle twill normal numbers instead of the felt. So we'll see if that happens again this year with a change of partnership for the lettering and numbering. But just want to throw that out there on a quick basis, just because it was a today trip.
No, and I appreciate that. And again, even if we've not mentioned your team or you're somewhere and get the codes for whatever, if it's the Authentic Pro or one of the game ones, send them here. We're continuing to build that database, and we appreciate everybody that continues to send us those pictures. It's extremely helpful and just helps us really build an understanding of how this stuff will work. And to my knowledge, and we're getting close to teams ending their set ones, or at least some of them are. So sometime here soon, we should start getting game jerseys in people's hands that have wear to them. So if your team is selling set ones in home or aways or stuff, let us know if we haven't mentioned it on the show, so we can kind of keep track of that. Even hopefully their pictures online show some of the wear, so we can kind of see where this stuff is going. And we're going to have so I talked about last show, get together with a bunch of people and have kind of discussion on wear and some different things here, hopefully not too far down the road. But and I will say, and again, we talked about this when it was Fanatics was announced and close to the season started, and we had a lot of questions, concerns, and at least with me owning one of Blues Fanatics now, and I'm waiting on the one from Buffalo. They haven't shipped that yet. Again, issued because there's no game war on either one. But I have been impressed at least with how they feel, the weight, and those kind of things. So yeah, we knocked him at first, and at least for this season, I'm impressed so far.
I
Again,
mean, here's one.
seen
Here's
the
one
wear
thing.
side, but at least
Yeah.
general
Well, here's
stuff.
one take I'm going to throw out there too. You know, we all remember some of the tragedies that were happening with Major League Baseball and the Fanatics change, stuff looking terrible and falling apart. I mean, heck, we're almost to Christmas. These guys have been wearing them in the NHL, and teams have been wearing them now for a couple months. And let's be honest, I haven't seen a situation where there's been a guy who got in a fight and the jersey tore in half. I haven't seen a sleeve fall off yet. And then, and here, if it had happened, we would have seen it and we would have probably laughed about it. And Paul would have definitely made light of it. Right.
Yeah.
So,
And we do know that one preseason, one of the Blues,
sure.
which we haven't, it has not come up for auction or for sale yet. So we've not been able to inspect what the repair's like. And it may have looked different on TV or on that video compared to how it actually tore. But yeah, there's not been a big thing. But the other side of that too, reminder is with the NHL, all the teams are customizing their own stuff or using whoever Blues now using EPS and et cetera, is those were all being customized by Nike. And Nike / Fanatics. And that's
maybe the difference.
Track record raised questions. I even had some people when I was playing hockey Monday night. We were talking about it. Hey, what do you think? And I'm like, honestly, I'm liking them. The quality seems good.
There. So far, the quality seems there. And like you said, until we get our hands on them, and if there's 30 repairs, we'll obviously know there's some condition issues, or if there's re-put together parts of them. But watching games night in and night out. Seeing videos of the guys, I mean, like, you're not seeing anything where guys are skating around with holes in the jerseys that are then later fixed. So, I mean, for right now, you'd have to give them a passing grade. And again, like I said, the ones I've touched and the work that we've done on them, I'm in the positive end of it for sure.
Let's hope it continues going forward. Any other final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, man, it was just like I said. I know we talked before the show came on. We wanted to just keep the rotation going. Sorry we missed the other guys tonight, and we're looking forward to some more guests moving forward. Just having fun this season. Looking forward to, like you said, set one. Looking forward to Winter Classic jerseys, and everything's prime good over here, buddy.
Yeah, we don't have long to the Winter Classic. And again, a reminder for anybody that's not a Hawks or a Blues fan. I know we've talked on it a bit, but if you've not paid attention, it is not on January 1st this year. It is on New Year's Eve. So a little bit of a different thing. I saw they put an artist rendering out today of what the Wrigley Field layout will look like, and it looks pretty sharp. But if it's cold like it is here now, but in Chicago, it's going to be miserable up there.
Glad I am not going.
Yes, I will watch it on TV and be very, very happy with that. Be warm and be good.
I'll be warm and fuzzy and enjoying my New Year's Eve.
Yes, the only sad thing too, and I talked to some of the alumni post Expo and stuff about this, is they're not doing an alumni game before the Winter Classic this year, which I find sad.
Yeah,
I know they're doing. I've seen a post because Gretzky and a few other guys are involved up in Chicago the night before. There's an alumni get together that's tickets are on sale for the public and go. It's basically like a forum kind of deal. But it's so much more fun to watch those alumni games, and sometimes they're better than the actual Winter Classic. But it's sad to not see that this year.
Yeah, the first one, the first year they did it at the stadium, and then the last Winter Classic. That was the All-Star game that they did the one here. They did not do one in Minnesota either.
Yeah, maybe it's something to do with some of the different alumni in different cities and availability. But
Yeah.
I know the year Blues and Blackhawks in St. Louis, that was
That
one
was
of the
great.
best alumni
Yeah.
games. They televised that, and
Yeah.
watching Gretzky and all those
I
guys.
was there.
Yeah, it was so cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I love seeing the alumni involved in this stuff. The one thing that we do see around here is the alumni involvement, which also translates to a lot of charity stuff,
Oh
which,
yeah.
we all get behind that. So,
Yep. As a reminder too, if you're selling jerseys, things like that, expect shipping times to take longer. The closer you
yeah,
get to Christmas, the longer things are going to take. I
yeah,
know USPS, if you use their boxes, and it's a little bit across the board, but more if you use their boxes, their prices are higher till like mid-January for holiday pricing.
yeah,
It's like surge pricing that companies and stuff are doing. It drives me nuts. So if you or shipping stuff, be aware of that and be aware of things taking a little bit longer. I know USPS has been terribly
yeah.
slow around this area, so something to
Yeah, the
keep.
one thing to add to that, I was waiting for an eBay purchase that said it was out for delivery, and I got home yesterday um, looking for the packages and not delivered. So I checked the app again, and they still said out for delivery. And it was probably 8:30, and I was sitting here and I heard what sounded like the post truck go by. I went out and checked, and they had showed up, you know, late into the evening. So, depending on where you live, but anywhere you live, be careful for those porch pirates, and just be aware that it seems like they're delivering stuff late. So be diligent in keeping an eye out for your stuff, or have somebody keep an eye out so that you don't end up one of those people that get something stolen.
Yes, and for I know there are collectors and listeners that work for the post office and that, and we appreciate what you do, and we know right now
Yeah.
things are absolutely crazy, and we thank you for all the hard work and the late hours you're doing. So we do appreciate all that. But yeah, if you're unsure, a lot of times I have stuff. I mean, I live in a small town, but even still, I get stuff shipped to my office because then I know the mail people at the office sign for it and all that kind of stuff. So just things to be thinking of. But hope you enjoyed this show. We just wanted to touch on a handful of things, kind of keep up on hobby news and others. But we'll have another show out early next week, and of course, then we'll do our Friday release of the normal show. And like I said, if depending on scheduling some other stuff, there may be several extras over the next, call it, a month or so with shows. But again, like, subscribe, throw comments out on wherever. We appreciate all that. If you want to, interested in coming on, if there's topics you have, reach out to one of us. We can't think of everything, and we don't know all the collectors. So if there's things that you want brought to our attention, reach out. Even if you think it's stupid or we've covered, but you have a different perspective, bring it up. We appreciate all that. But again, thank you, Wade, for tonight. It's a fun little show, and we'll see all the rest of the guys back when we record our special show on Sunday night and release it on Monday.